Namaste everyone and welcome back to the Spake Satguru Sivananda. Today's quote: in spirituality, dependence only is safe. To whom and where is the dependence? Can one look after one's own safety? This is why keeping it in someone else's, guru's hand is safe. So over to you, Nana. So what is this dependence and why it should be entrusted to Guru? Elaborate on that, Nana.
Yeah. Namaste. This quote is also has a very good connection with the previous quote. If I bring the threads of the previous quote here, I think it would be relevant. In the sense, in the previous episode, we were discussing about the spiritual living, if I am right. So we have brought in spirituality. This spirituality, when it influences of our life, our living is completely changed. In the sense, you start this living only when you recognize and realize that there is an ultimate goal before you, apart from what you consider in the Laukik world. In the material world, of course, we have so many things that we have to achieve, so many wishes are there, desires are there, that we have to do something, some exercises have to be done, and some sadhana has to be done even for these things. And again, if you have realized that there is an ultimate goal to reach, what is that goal? So that was the thing that we have discussed in the last episode. Well, we have also seen that the one who has gone to that extent of understanding and experiencing the ultimate reality, whether you call it as truth or jnana or whatever name you give, that's material. If you have realized that, we also call it revelation or realization or something. If you experience that, once you have experienced that, if it stays stable with you in your heart center, then you need not worry about anything. You can come back to the world and then guide the people and also talk to them and live with them. And also, just as a human being, you can also go about in the life and you can help them to realize their goal and to do some sadhana for themselves. So this is what we have seen yesterday. And this is not a new thing that we have to know very strangely now. Even if you take a Gayatri mantra, what does it say? Suppose now if you have realized that, if you have experienced that truth, that reality, then in praying Goddess Gayatri, we say that you take care of my intellect, you take care of my mind, you take care of my body. Because body, mind, both are one complex thing. It's only one. So in the mind, we have intellect, buddhi. So our buddhi should be controlled by you, the goddess Gayatri. Because our mind, because it is always looking around, looking out, with all its five, what you call the karmendriyas and then jnanendriyas and the tanmatras. So these 15 things are there separately. with all these 15, what you call the appliances. So your buddhi is taking its own decisions. Instead of taking its own decisions in the outer world, similarly, this buddhi would not allow you to look into your inside recess, the heart center. So we are praying to Gayatri, goddess Gayatri, that we take this buddhi, take this mind, take this body, everything, keep it under your control. And the reins, keep these reins with you in your hands, and you use them so that I realize what I am. I realize what the truth is. So this is the prayer that we generally do. And even if you ask in your own language, so many languages, in every language, God knows all the languages. It's not necessary that it should be in Sanskrit or something else. So God knows all languages because He has created us. So even if you ask for yourself in your own words, in your own language, that, oh Bhagavan, you take me, you take under your care, let me surrender to you. What are you going to surrender with you? The surrender is definitely related to your mind and buddhi. Body is always there, body is jada. Your mind is also jada. But you keep them. Let me keep these things in your hands so that you can control me. So here in this spirituality, so this is our sadhana. Once you have identified what is your goal, and that goal takes you to the reality, but in the meanwhile, there are so many ifs and buts. There are so many ifs and buts. And here in this present episode, we come across certain terms which we generally popularly use in your day-to-day life. Generally, we say, oh, independence. What is that independence? So we say dependence. What is dependence? What is independence? What is dependence? What is freedom? Very loosely, we take these terms and then use them in our general conversations, even with regard to the worldly life. Guruji says, we are not independent after the India has become independent. We are not independent since your nation has become independent. He also says that no, we were independent when we are ruled by aliens, foreigners. When we are under foreign rule, we were independent, we were free. He says, we are free citizens because we are ruled by some foreigner. So we can protest. We could protest, and we protested. We protested. So this is one thing, very important thing that you should always keep in your mind. This, even that was a surprise to me when he spoke about this. I also thought much about it. We were not dependent when our India was dependent to foreign rule, under the foreign rule. But he says when India became independent, as citizens, we are bound to our nation, bound to our nation's ideas, bound to our national laws, bound to our constitution. And even if you think that some law has gone against our interests, even then you have to follow the law, though you can express your displeasure. Suppose income tax, problems are there, and nobody is happy about this income tax is not there. So then, can you just refuse or reject payment of the present tax burden? You are not free. So in the independent nation, you are not a free citizen. In a foreign nation, foreign rule, you are independent. So you could protest. We had a very big national movement for 100 years. And in many ways, we have only we have tried that we should free from the war. So that way there we had the right to protest, to break the railway lines, to break the buses, to refuse payment of tax on salt. So that they were right, we were right at the time, but now you have no right to say that because this is your own government. You have only formed this government. You have to follow their rule. Whether it is a bad rule or a good rule, whatever it may be. Wait till 5 years, and when the elections are there, take some decision, change your government. But you can change the government, but you cannot go against the government. So similarly, here, Guruji has used these two things, very important terms. In spirituality, what he says, dependence is necessary. And as it is, we are not independent. This is again a very controversial. It looks controversial because in the modern times, every intellectual speaks of freedom. Freedom is different, and dependence are different. And even in Tattva Jnana, we are told that Ishvara has created the entire Brahmanda, and also he had put in this Jivas into Brahmanda, and he has given them freedom. Freedom is given. Freedom is not taken or achieved, or it's not there. So freedom is given by somebody. The government gives you some freedom to express your wish. But it doesn't mean that the freedom, you are free because you are allowed some freedom. So this is very important. One has to look into it. In spirituality, dependence is necessary because if you want that some jhana has to come, jhana is not with you. You are in a jhana and you are seeking for jhana. You are seeking for truth. You wanted some revelation, some experience. So you will have to wait. You have to follow somebody, some rules and regulations. There is again a code of conduct. If you want to take sannyasa, again, it has a very big code of conduct. For anything, you have a code of conduct. Even if you want to live in the society, the social dharma is there. You will have to follow. So how are you independent? We generally say we are free, we can take. No, you are not that free. As you speak now, through your intellect, you are not that free. It is the independence. That independence is virtually there is no, because he gives in the second line. How is that how is that you are independent? For example, he says that as a small boy, as a boy, as a man, as an old man, you have these 4 stages with you in your life. So in these 4 stages of life, are you independent in any way? We think generally that after studying and passing out from our universities, and then we have entered into some job, and then we are earning, we are free. We think, how are you free with your salary? For salary, you are bound to somebody. Somebody has to ask you to do something, and you have to do that. In salary, you can't ask whatever you want. You have to take what is given to you. And as a boy, you are supposed to follow the regulations in the house, in the society, in school, and all that. You are bound. And even after passing, when you have joined a job, you are not free. Social responsibilities there, family responsibilities are there. And even if your parents take care of you when you are a boy, that is a wonderful time. We say generally, throughout our life, boyhood was a wonderful life because we didn't have any worry. We didn't have any anxiety. We didn't have something to do, some responsibility. Parents take care of that. You only play, If they ask you to do some homework, you do. That's all. You are free. And even before that, in your infant times, you are totally dependent on your parents, particularly your mother. Mother takes care of the infant, where you can live very happily. You need not worry about your nature calls also. You can just sleep in the lap of your mom. She takes care of you. She cleans you. She does everything. She taps you to sleep and all that. So where you are not worrying about yourself, no anxiety, nothing. Even if you cry for something, then immediately the mother runs to you and then attends to your needs. So that was the time, that was the best time as infant. And the second time, as even as under the care of the parents, you are very happy because nothing worries you about. You did not go look for a loan and that. You are free. But when you have taken the job and then became independent in the sense, in the modern sense, if you say I am independent from whom? You have to take care of your old parents. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your family members. And if you get married, again, a very big responsibility before you. Everywhere you are committed, except at the infant stage. The rest of the time, you are committed. You can't say that I am a free man. Guruji says you are dependent. You are always dependent. Even as an infant, you are dependent on your mother. Even as a boy, you are dependent on your parents. In the school, you are dependent on your teachers. And when you come to be employed, then the employer, you have to depend on him. As a husband, you are dependent on your family. And you have also commitments to your family. So this way, no man is free. But in Tattva Jnana, what he says, Ishvara has given you freedom. What kind of freedom was it? It was a free will, a free wish. You can ask for anything. And you have to wait for that, to do something to get it. You are free only in choosing your desires. Having a desire, you are free. For that again, you are bound. If you want to have a particular desire, for that, there are so many regulations are there. So many conditions are there. You have to fulfill them. But you cannot say that I am independent at any stage of your life. So dependence is not there. So that is the life of a man. Man is dependent, even it is from his very birth to almost to the death. Even after death, you are dependent on those people who look after the last rites of you. So in spirituality also, dependence is necessary. And here, he also cautions us with regard to choosing ourselves the path, choosing ourselves what we have to do. Because now we have thought of having a desire for getting the ultimate. We call it as Shubhecha. From there, the sadhana starts. Okay. But how do you do this sadhana? Is sadhana only the one path? It's a multi-path approach to truth. If it is a multi-path approach to the truth, each path is not just a straight ride. It can't be. It's not just a ride. Suppose bhakti, take bhakti. We have also seen in the earlier episodes how difficult it is to have a bhakti. How can we claim a bhakti? Bhakti bhava, you can have bhakti bhava, but if you have to become a bhakta, we have taken the example of Hanuman. He was only the bhakta. Even if you have a desire for moksha, that desire is itself a desire. That desire binds you again. So every way, all the paths that we have chosen, whatever path we choose, all these paths, there are some hardships. There are some difficulties. It looks very fair in the beginning, but the way when you start treading into the path, then you will understand so many problems. So you should not take a decision by yourself that bhakti is good to me, or japa is good to me, yajna is good to me, or national service is good to me. No, you should not have that kind of choice. So again, you have to depend on a guru. What kind of guru he is? He should be an accomplished guru. That's more important. Having a guru, that guru, an accomplished one, who has come from that stage of stable consciousness. From there, he is looking for us. So we have to look into the guru, that kind of guru. If you are fortunate to get him, you just follow him. Just to follow whatever he says for you, not when he says in the assembly, because he will be delivering lectures and talks, Anugrah Bhashans, he will be saying so many things, but they are not meant for you. If he says, Sudarshan, you have to do this, then I have to do that. That's all. So when we are doing this, some other things look very prettier for us, but they are not for you. So this is what is prescribed to you. When you go to a doctor, whatever is prescribed by the doctor, you have to follow. If he is a good doctor. So for that, we make inquiries whether how good he is in his subject. So similarly, when you are following a guru, you need not worry, just like an infant in mother's lap. You can just lie with him and then do whatever he says. If he doesn't say anything, that's also good. Because we have an episode of Uddhava. He was a classmate of Krishna in the Gurukula. And he lived there for several batches were coming and going, and his guru did not ask him to do anything. And one day when he went to the stream to collect some things for the puja and all that, then he looked himself into that stream, because a bachelor is not expected to look into the mirrors. He should not look about his things and then do all these things. So he's not expected to toilet himself. So when accidentally he looked into it, and then in the water, the reflection was that the whole beard was gray, and then hairs were gray. So he was already past 50 or 60 or 70. Then, he got worried. Oh, Guru, you have not, graduated me. You didn't send me to the society. So he did not ask him to do anything. But, when he went to Guru and he wept before him, he said, you are the best student of all those whom I have taught. Go, you are a jnani now, he said. When he said he is jnani, Uddhava. So similarly, Guru need not ask you to do this and that. You can just live with him. As our Guruji also said, don't worry about that. Just live like this. Don't think about it. Don't ask anything. Don't ask anything for you. If you are asking anything, then that's your responsibility. Why should we do all this? Just follow him. So the very important thing is getting an accomplished Guru. For that, again, in the earlier episodes we have seen that, if you want to have a good Guru, then you should ask Ishvara. So if Ishvara is there, you ask Ishvara to give him a good Guru. Once you got a Guru, the same Ishvara comes to you as Guru, and then leave everything to him, just like an infant in the mother's lap, and don't ask for anything, even for jnana or anything. Just you lay yourself before him. So that is what is called, the complete surrender. Surrender to the Guru. So you have to surrender yourself to Guru, the one who is an accomplished one. To get him, again you have to pray Ishvara and wait till he sends you a Guru. So this is the essence, and I think we can think about it and then have so many ramifications we can understand in course of our thinking. Right?
Beautiful, Anna. Thank you so much. Thanks for elaborating on that. Gives us better idea. And also Uddhava's story was quite Interesting how he didn't even realize that he grew old. That means he was actually engrossed into what was being taught.
Guru.
I think that's the reason why the Guru also said, you are the best student, because he came with no expectations. It shows that he had no desire or expectation out of his Gurukula, because of which he was very engrossed and enjoying what was happening, till he actually realized he was very old and he had no certificate to show. Astavadani, Shatavadani, nothing to show, and he has
Right.
not learned in the way that other co-students might have or peers must have learned. It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. And also, I remember our Guru Garu. He never ever prescribed anything to any of us. I have never seen him saying, okay, you do this mantra and you will get this, this, and this. Okay, you do this dhanam, you will get this, this, and this. Nothing of that sort. All he said was staying in dharma, and the simple answer he gave when we asked what is staying in dharma, not doing a dharma will give definition to what is dharma. So just avoid doing adharma. You will be very clear on what is adharma. Just avoid that, and automatically you are in dharma. So apart from that, I mean, all the normal good things that he has taught, he never prescribed anything. No mantras, no yagna, no japam, nothing. And that's how we have been. So Uddhava's example is what we have seen, I guess, in several ways. So thank you so much, Nana. Thanks once again. And also we will see you again tomorrow with a different quote. Namaste, everyone, and see you tomorrow. Bye.